Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are going to talk about a lot of things that are going on around this channel. First of all, I'm going to share with you a lot of news, and then we're going to talk about stories within images and how I got to this subject and how I want to get some deeper involvement in the subject of stories. So first of all, let's talk about the news that I want to share with you, because from now on I have my web shop open on the website. You might have noticed over the past months I've been really busy with filling my new web shop, building a new web shop, and I tested it with selling the calendar and it worked really well. There are still calendars left in the web shop. You can now see the actual number that I still have to sell, and when they run out, then it's done. I'm not going to order any new ones for this season. So if you're interested in the calendar, really nice, with every image that is in it comes along with a QR code. You can see it up here, but also on every other page. If you scan the QR code, you get to the YouTube video that shows where I shot that image on location. So still a couple of calendars left in the web shop. So if you're interested in that, go to that. But if you go to my website now, you can see that I have a whole new section of fine art prints, and all these prints are printed by myself on my own professional photo printer that I bought this year. A big investment for me as a photographer, but I just have a lot of fun with printing these images, with seeing them come to life when they come out of the printer. So I hope if you are interested in them, just take a look in my web shop. And to celebrate the start of this web shop, I have a sale code that I want to share with you. So if you, I'll put it underneath here, if you're interested in prints, right now I have a 25% Black Friday opening sale for the prints on my web shop. So all prints, 25% off at the moment if you use this code. And for Black Friday, I also created a discount code for the calendar. So if you want the calendar, there's a 5% discount. There's not that much margin for me in the calendar for selling them. So 5% is about the max that I can do. But if you're interested in them, these are the last ones. Use the code. I put it in the description of the video also. So have a look at the web shop. A lot of time went into them. And if there is an image that you've seen from me that's not in the web shop, or you want to order one digitally for bigger prints, for example, one of my panoramic images, then please send me a message. I'll be happy to load them up in the web shop. I can even upload digital files now. So if you want to only buy a digital file, I can upload that specific file and you can order it and print it yourself somewhere where you live in the world. Let's have a look at the other news that I wanted to share. You might have seen it on my social media this week that one of my images, and let's actually have a look at that specific image. This image was selected for the National Geographic annual photo contest in the Netherlands and ended up in the top 3 of the culture category. And I'm just really proud of that. So last week I was at the National Geographic headquarters where they announced who was the winner. Unfortunately, they didn't tell who was second or third. They only said who was the winner of the category. And in my case, my image did not win. But I just still feel like I won. You know, being in such a competition and then seeing your image there on screen with people talking about it, people that know about images. You know, the fun thing about their photo contest this year is there was no public prize. So this was a jury of professional photographers and people who work as managing directors at National Geographic for years. They selected this and they chose my image to be in their top 3. So I am really proud of that, and really inspiration. But what I won more, I got a whole bunch of books and magazines, a year description to their National Geographic Traveler. So I did win some stuff, but the thing that I got most is connections. I got to talk to the editing director of National Geographic, and what they told me, and that was actually quite interesting, is that what they are looking for is not a single image, or they do look like single images like this one, but it has to tell a story. They have to use this image to make a story on their articles. I'm always wondering to myself, what do those magazines look like or look for? And one of those things apparently is stories. I had some real nice conversations with the people from National Geographic, and it really opened my mind to what are they looking for? What are the kind of images that I can sell to magazines, to all that stuff, to make my business grow? I was looking at my own portfolio, and I can take nice landscape images. I take lots of nature images, and I'm really proud of the work that I make. But somehow being there set a spark that I thought, wow, telling stories with images, that is an amazing feature to have as a photographer. I looked at my own portfolio and just let me look at the images that I think tell a specific story here. So I selected a couple ones that I want to share with you to show you. So for example, this image, a couple of them you've already seen a lot of times on the channel, but this just breeds an Africa image, you know. It's a lone kudu crossing the road during sunrise. Somehow this image transforms to a story. And if you look at the next ones, this also two lonely birds during a beautiful sunrise. It breeds a certain atmosphere, and these are the kind of images that they are looking for to support their articles. This image is a really old one. It isn't even that sharp anymore. It's never been that sharp, you know. It's like 15 years old, but it breeds a love story. You know, two white swans in a red carpet pool somewhere. You know, that tells a story about an image. These lions laying on the road in the morning in the fog, there is a story to this image. All these lions doing different stuff, looking at different directions. There's just so much going on in this image that I really like. If you look at this one, of the oryxes on the edge of the salt pan in Etosha National Park, you can see all those heat waves in the back, and then those three lone oryxes on the edge of this grassland. You know, this breeds an emptiness story. You know, you can directly see where it is, that it's not a zoo or anything. This is just nature as it is in Africa. And it's the same for this image. It breeds some sort of tranquility to it. Such an easy, calm image with the two geese sitting in that pond. It just looked amazing, and that all right during sunrise. So that's the kind of images that they are looking for. And just to show you that a story can be really different, look at this image from Sweden in January this year, where I shot these three reindeer running on a frozen field. And just look at this image where there's not a real story in there except for these reindeer walking in the snow. But from a different angle and a different position, it gets a whole different story. You know, this image breeds like they are walking in wilderness, walking away. I don't know, they're just in a very lone area with nothing going on there except for those reindeer walking on the ice. That's the fun thing, that you can, by changing your perspective, you can tell a story with an image. This one I shot recently of two women riding horses. It tells a story of horse riders, horseback riders. I don't know what the English is. I think it's horseback riding, and the American is horse riding, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it breeds a certain atmosphere. It tells a story about what people are doing in an image. There's also a whole different kind of horse riding in Indonesia. This is actually on top of a volcano. Lots of fog going on, but you can see by the man wearing his hat that it's a real tough environment where he is riding his horse in at that specific location. So two horse shots, but a total different story behind them. This is a good example of the same lake. I shot the next three images from the exact same location, but they all breathe a very specific different story. This could be someone on the North Pole, an explorer, standing there in the middle of nowhere. But the next image, you can see it's the same person and someone behind it with a couple of trees. And you can see that these are actually ice skaters going around there or people running through the snow. But there's a very different story to this image compared to this image. And from the same location, I also shot this image, which isn't completely sharp, so it's never shown in the YouTube videos. But this is a story about two people walking in an empty land covered with snow or something, but it's more like an older couple walking there. And so there's a completely different story in these three images shot from the exact same spot in Sweden. It's a story about a family, my wife, my son and my grandpa, not my grandpa, but my son's grandpa, but that's the whole, it tells a story about a family at a waterfall, you know, and that's what they are looking for. This is a story about the fisherman, and when I shot this image, the first thing I thought is I'm gonna clone that fisherman out, but the fisherman actually makes this image. And so I never cloned him out, and I still think that is the very, very right decision to do, because I love this image as it is. Sitting there in the middle of nowhere, these beautiful colors, absolute amazing image. This is me with my son walking through the woods, but it does tell a story. If I wouldn't have stand here in this image, then it would have just been a path going through the forest. But right now, it transformed into something different, something to a higher level or something like that. And here also my son, and this actually ended up in National Geographic's annual calendar last year. It's this year's calendar. But yeah, it was a real surprise for me. They didn't tell me about it. And this is actually what I told them when I was at their head office, that I was already in their calendar this year. And they were pretty surprised that I never received an email that my image was used in their calendar. So apparently, if you apply an image to a photo contest that they have, in the small letters it says that they can use your images to fill the calendar. And that's another prize that I received with my top 3 noting that my image is going to be in next year's calendar. So definitely going to buy that. So really proud of that, being in their calendar for the second time next year. This is also an example of someone sitting on the left top. And this is an image telling about someone that's enjoying the view, and then this beautiful landscape, sunset behind it. It's absolutely a storytelling image. And here my friend Walter walking with his camera while we were doing a photo shoot with some beautiful, ridiculous light. You know, only that tree would have been a bit boring, but putting him underneath it, it was just a lucky shot that he appeared there. But he's actually still using this as his profile picture on social media. So a real fun moment. And this story just tells a different, image tells a different story. You see, if this girl wouldn't have had that ponytail going up, this could also be a person walking there. But because of that ponytail going up, you immediately know that this girl is doing some running. This tail doesn't go up walking, it only goes up when you're running. So that ponytail tells a story in this specific image. And then of course we have these early morning swimmers here in Denmark that I shot in this video. I'll put a link up here. A magnificent morning. It's just ridiculously how many great images I took on that specific morning. But this ending up in the top 3 of National Geographic is maybe one of my proudest moments in photography. But then I started thinking, can you tell a story with only a landscape, so without a person or without an animal in it? And I started looking through my portfolio, and that's when I started to realize, oh, that's actually quite difficult to do. So I found this image of these gnarly old trees. This tells a story about desolation, about death or something like that, you know, snow, fog, dead trees. There is a story in this particular image. But also in this image, it's a story about a harsh land with snow and wind, some light, an island, not being able to access it during winter time. So there is some sort of story in this image, but it's very, very thin. This red rose, you know, it tells a story of a stranger being in a place where it doesn't belong. but it does work as a photo. This image tells a story about a sunset, a town going to sleep, and there's an ambulance on top. So there's a lot of things going on. You can see some people are home, some people are not at home. So I think there is a story to an image like this also. But again, this is really thin material that I'm looking at. Here are the boats, and there's a story here also about all the boats are in the harbor. So why are they in the harbor? You know, no one is on this lake. Of course, it's sunrise, but still, there sometimes are people fishing or enjoying their boats during sunrise. So I thought this was a fun thing, that all the boats were in the harbor leading towards the sun. So I really love this image. This is actually taken one day before the image with the two swimmers on the jetty there, the boardwalk. But I just really loved that environment that I was in Denmark. I shot a couple of videos there, and I sold a couple of prints from those videos, ended up in the top 3, so a ridiculously good week of photography that I had there. This image also tells a story about a land being flooded with fog, just coming out, a little bit of a sunrise on that house there. So yeah, but again, it's a real thin material. And that's why I decided, after talking to their managing director at National Geographic, he told me that they are running a photography course that starts in January next year. It takes about 16 weeks, so every next week on Monday there is a new session, and their best photographers in the Netherlands are giving that course, and it's all about how to tell stories with images. So I decided you're never too good to learn something, you're never too old to learn something. So I decided it's a big investment for me, but this is something that I want to deep out in 2025. I want to make more stories with my photography, because I just love how I looked at those images. And if you look at the images that actually won the award, let's have a look. I don't know if I'm allowed to share that, because this image shot by Andy Lambert, absolutely amazing shot. Just look at it right here. It's a shot of a bait bowl of small fish, and all these Jan van Gents and dolphins in the back are coming into the water trying to catch those fish. He explained to me that it took him 8 days in South Africa on a boat to get this image. So every time they saw some birds going in the water, immediately scuba dived in with their cameras. So ridiculously good image. So this was the overall winner of this year's annual photo contest of National Geographic. It's in their magazine, so it's in the store right now, the new National Geographic. I got this one for free as my prize. Also, if you look at my category, this was a category travel, I believe. You can see that this polar bear laying on this ice cone. It tells a story of a deserted area, nothing going on except for this ice. The right bottom here, if you look at this woman, I think she was sick and she wanted one last photo shoot. So a beautiful image, and this is the image that actually won my culture category. You can see these Jewish people walking in the streets of New York in a reflective window. Absolutely amazing image. So it's a shame that I didn't win, but I can see why they selected that image, because of the story being in that image. So that's what I want to dig out this year, 2025 coming, and that's why I applied to the National Geographic photography course. I'm going to be doing that every Monday, and maybe that's going to change this channel a little bit with some new different images. I'm going to try to include those stories in my landscapes more, and I just want to see how I can do it more, how I can search for those things. Yeah, hopefully I can share what I learn with you, and you will still keep supporting this channel. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about in this video, that if you want to get your images to a bigger audience, to maybe magazines or stuff like that, that's what they're interested in, stories within images. And that's what I'm going to be going to for the next year. Of course, I will still do what I am doing all the time, but I'm going to try to look at it from another perspective also, like can I do that more in the next year? So yeah, I think that's a good goal for 2025. So let me know in the comments, do you have any photography goals for the next year, or did you have any goals for this year? Did you make them? Did you accomplish your goals, or is it still some work in progress? You know, I'm just interested in what's your goals? What do you want to do? Do you just want to take pictures? Of course, there's nothing wrong with that, but somehow I just met a little spark in my head that says to me, this is worth exploring. This is worth getting some more attention to. So yeah, I hope you like this video, and I hope you will join me on this journey with, of course, landscapes, nature, and trying to tell some more stories with them. So yeah, please, if you like the video, please push your thumbs up button, and there is a subscribe button underneath this video. If you push that and select all on the notification bell, you will get a free message when I release a new video. Don't forget, the link to the web shop is in the bottom here. Their discount codes are also listed in the description. So if you're interested in a print or the calendar, then make sure to use the discount code underneath here. It will be valid until the 7th of December 2024. So about 2 weeks from releasing this video, you can use this offer code for the special opening of my new web shop. I think that's it. So I hope to see you on the next video. I think it's going to be in the Netherlands. I have a couple of videos that I already recorded at this moment. And yeah, hopefully you will like them. So hope to see you next time. Bye bye.